Hello students. So today we are going to have the class 12 physics electrostatics. We have done about the Coulomb's law, about the electric field and all the things. So all these things were based upon the point charges. So all the laws, all the rules were based upon the point charges. But suppose point charges can be imaginary. In fact, point concept is imaginary. Point is very small, which cannot be possible. There is no area. Whenever you are putting a point, then necessarily there is some area, but that is not correct. Okay? So that was hypothetical, but for the charged bodies, Gauss was that scientist who advised and gave the another thing of the electrostatics. He produced another part of the electrostatics. So electrostatics can be divided into two parts. As far as concerned with the study purpose, electrostatics can be divided into two types. One is Coulombian electrostatics, and this is for the point charges. Basically, this was for the point charges. So you have done it. Till now, you have done it, but another part is Gaussian electrostatics, and this is for the uniformly charged surfaces. Okay. So there were point charges, like charges and like charges, Coulomb's force and other things. All the things were for the point charges, but here we are going to take the uniformly charged surfaces, and for them we are going to evaluate electric field. So actually force was not considered basically, but whenever you are talking about the electric field, means there is concept of force involved. So you cannot say that Coulombian electrostatics is not correct. That is correct, but Gauss took the concept of that and used for the surfaces. Okay. So now come to first, what are the uniform distribution surfaces? Surfaces with, so we are putting the topic surfaces with uniform distribution of charge. So actually charge is distributed throughout the surface. So what is the quality of such surfaces? When you are taking any surface, suppose it is like this, it can be regular, it can be irregular. So when charge is distributed uniformly, so when charge is distributed uniformly, then there is two concepts. For the regular surfaces, you can say what is the same, potential is same at every point. Electric potential is same. So that's why they are also called as equipotential surfaces. So for the regular says, but it is irregular. So for the irregulars, you cannot say equipotential, but this can be applied. So here in your course, we are going to study about the regular surfaces. So suppose you are having a regular surface. Suppose we are taking for convenience sphere. A sphere is uniformly distributed, charge is distributed uniformly. Then this is an equipotential surface also. What is the same here? At every point the electric potential is same. So such type of surfaces are going to be studied. So these are. Now what is the concept here? What Gauss did? He took a surface is there, so he took a small area element. And suppose its area is delta S and its charge is delta Q. Better you can write like this also. This is capital delta and that was small. So area element is very small area which has some very small area and some very small charge. Okay. So he took the concept of area element. When you are taking the area element, then he also further took the, so let us have this, consider a charged spherical surface uniformly, no doubtly, uniformly, you can say equipotential also, spherical surface. Now since charge is uniformly distributed, so potential at every point is same. Here we don't need that concept, but you should note, that is the important thing, that this is also called as equipotential surface. Now consider an area element that is very small, no doubtly, delta S with charge delta Q. Now why there is area element? So actually he tried to make the surface using the point charging. So this charge is very small, so it can be considered as a point charge. So Gauss did like this. So now electric field due to area element, we are interested in finding the electric field due to this area element, and then we shall sum up and we shall find for the whole surface. So here few things are required. Actually, what is the concept here? He took a vector, unit vector, which is nothing but delta S. So a unit vector which is perpendicular to the surface. Actually it is three-dimensional sphere is there. So this is perpendicular, means either it can be in this direction or in the downward direction. So he took a unit normal, you can say unit normal perpendicular to the area element. Clear? Or better, he took electric flux. He consider electric flux associated with area element So this is the definition of electric flux. Suppose it is delta E, then it can be written as delta Q, delta phi, suppose we are taking. So it is defined as the E dot delta S. That is the scalar product. So now dot product you know. So he took the concept of vector area. What he did is he made the vector with the help of unit normal. So delta S into n cap. So in fact it is nothing but delta S is scalar quantity take out. So E dot n cap. This is the electric flux. Electric flux is scalar quantity. So better if you don't know, you can define here. Definition: electric flux of surface. Electric flux of a surface. So it was defined as the product of phi was defined as the product of E and unit vector area is that which is vector area is that concept where the normal is perpendicular. So he, by multiplying that unit normal, he made the area vector. So E dot ds. Now no doubtly it is a scalar product, so it is a scalar quantity. And what can be the unit for it? E is nothing but Newton Coulomb minus 1 you know F upon Q, and S is nothing but meter square. So this is the unit of this. So this is all about the electric flux. Now here we are going to find the electric flux of the area element. So this is nothing but E dot delta S, and delta S can be written as delta S into n cap, where n cap is the normal unit normal vector. Perpendicular, normal means perpendicular, so which is perpendicular to the surface. So this is this much. Now come here. This is delta phi is equal to how much you have known delta S into E dot n cap. But we know that E is equal to nothing but that is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, k is there, then k delta q upon r square. So it is surface, so radius is nothing but radius of the sphere, where we are talking about magnitude. R is radius of spherical surface. Radius of spherical surface, that we have already considered. So this is area, radius of, you have done it, point charge. Delta Q can be considered as the point charge, and so when at the center we are getting this, that can be supposed situated at the center. So at r distance this is this much. Now put the value, so you will get delta phi equal to delta S into, that is, here is dot not required. So E put the value 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught delta q upon r square, and here when you will put the into put the don't talk about the vector, so we are taking here the magnitude. In fact, when you are taking, so this is electric flux, normal electric flux. So n dot n both are same, so that is 1. So now we are talking about scalars. So what will happen? Delta S into delta Q, okay? So this can be written as 4 pi epsilon naught r square delta Q into delta S. Now therefore the total electric flux due to whole surface. Whole means you are going to sum it, whole surface, so he took this concept. So is phi is equal to nothing but summation delta phi. Sum all the small area elements. So when you will sum, you are getting here, what shall you get? Phi is equal to, put the value, summation 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square into delta q delta s into delta s. So this is how much. Now when you will so take out the constant, so this 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square, this is constant value, so here only delta q into summation delta s. Now you know when you will sum the delta q, then it will become the whole charge of the sphere. So here you can write this is equal to nothing but q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square into, this is q, because the charge q is distributed, so we have already supposed that charge q is distributed. So now it will become that, and this is nothing but surface area of the sphere. So what is the surface area of the sphere? That is 4 pi r square. Now cancel 4 pi and this all cancels. So you are getting this q upon epsilon naught. Total electric flux is q 1 upon epsilon. So this was the Gauss law. In fact, in magnitudes it is the Gauss law. So or better in vector form you can write this E dot, that is R E dot n cap delta S, or better you can n cap is equal to, this is total electric flux, so this is equal to q upon epsilon naught. This summation can be changed into integration when there is homogeneous, because uniform. So this is like this. So but you don't have in your book, only understand total electric flux. What is the law? Therefore, total electric flux due to sphere, or better you can surfaces, due to surface of uniform charge distribution, distribution is 1 upon epsilon naught times times the charge of body, the charge. This law, this rule is called as Gauss law. Okay, so whenever there is electric flux, the total electric flux of equipotential surfaces is always 1 upon epsilon naught times of the charge. Okay, so he derived the law with the help of his sphere.